Hi, I'm sitting here with Jay Fajardo from the Philippines, who's a member of the Global Innovation Lounge that we organized in cooperation with GIZ and AfriLabs. Jay, it's your first time here at Republica, and you're representing a space called Launch Garage, which does startup incubation. Can you tell us in a few sentences what Launch Garage does for startups in the Philippines?
Sure. We're based out of Manila, and we're a 6-month program where we pick 4 startups to participate in the accelerator program, which includes mentoring, lean startup training, mixers or interaction with the startup community, and pitch training, and culminating in a demo day at the end.
So I know that back in 2002, the Philippines was the country with the highest mobile usage per person in the world already, like most SMS text sent per person. The startups that you're dealing with, mainly mobile tech startups?
There are some mobile tech startups, but there are a lot of web startups as well. But lately we've been seeing a combination of both. So you have a web application, but definitely supported by a mobile application.
And you've met a lot of different other innovation spaces from across the world at the lounge now. So comparing what you do in the Philippines to perhaps some of the other spaces in Africa or Latin America, how far developed would you say is the scene in the Philippines when it comes to tech startups?
I'd say that it's almost the same. I mean, I've seen a lot of great things coming out of the African hubs, but I think it seems to me the biggest problem is sources of capital.
Right.
We've actually breached at least the first stage of that, which is the early stage funding level. So that might be what you'd call something we're more advanced versus what we're seeing in Africa. But we're going to be seeing another problem on the second round. That's what I'm anticipating.
So the small funding is there, but the majors haven't quite arrived yet?
That's right.
What else would you say, like having talked to some of the other peoples at the Global Innovation Lounge, what is unique about the market in the Philippines, or also perhaps different in Southeast Asia than compared to the other continents?
Okay, well, the Philippines has a huge population. I think it's about 92 million now. And what's unique though about that population is that there's a huge chunk that's actually abroad, working elsewhere. In fact, that's maybe about 7 million workers not in the Philippines. So that's either an opportunity or a challenge as far as tapping that market. As far as Southeast Asia is concerned, the biggest markets aside from the Philippines is Indonesia. And I think culturally, the different countries in that region have different market behaviors. You're seeing people, like for example, Thailand doesn't use Twitter. Instead they use Instagram for their Twitter because of the 140 character limit. Okay, so you're going to see that kind of unique variations in usage and consumer behavior.
Right, whereas for instance in Indonesia, Twitter is huge, right?
That's right.
What is that like in the Philippines? Like what are the most popular social networks used there?
Oh, definitely Facebook. I think the Philippines was ranked as one of the top 5 in Facebook users. Somebody mentioned 27 million Filipino users on Facebook, which is pretty big.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
And Republica is a conference where, of course, we talk about like tech and business and innovation issues, but it's also a very political conference where we talk a lot about issues connected to internet freedom and internet governance. So speaking to some of the hubs, some of them incorporate these topics and deal with civil society issues as well, and others keep well away from it because it would be an area they don't want to go into so much.
Right.
How is that seen in the Philippines, and what kind of sort of net political awareness would you say is there amongst people working in tech?
I think the ability or the willingness to address those types of issues is very strong in the Philippines. There's a lot of the government's activities now and the political activities are actually being monitored closely by the netizens, and they're very noisy. If they see something that they don't like, they'll use social media.
Like the censorship protest that came up on Facebook last year.
That's right, yeah.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me
Sure.
for this interview, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Republica.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Thanks.